Alrighty, welcome to the Tuesday night stream. Bit later than expected, but this will be a bit of a shorter stream. Consider this consider this more or less a intermission between games for now. More specifically, my intermission for Vampire the Masquerade. I'm loving my experience, but after the sewer section, that took the wind out of my sail a bit. So, for lack of a better word, to recalibrate and get myself back in the game, I figured I'd move away from being dark and dreary, and instead go to being a bit more lighthearted, if you could even describe it as such. So yeah, I'm playing Starfield, a game that is arguably a game. However, given the circumstances of existential horror, cosmic beings of unknown proportions, and if we're possibly alone in this universe, it's a game that I've come to enjoy. Well, I've always enjoyed it. I don't know why I said I've come to enjoy. But yeah, I've always enjoyed Starfield. For now, though, I'm right now doing some final checkups, as you could call it. I'm gonna do what I'm gonna call a Crusader run, in which the basic gist of it is pretty much I'm pretty much waging war on everything. Is what I'll say. Yeah, I'm just waging war on everything I see and can do. So, while I'm waiting for this game to get to a apex point that is comfortable, at least, I am trying to think off the top of my head. Let's talk about the newest games that are coming out. I've talked about them to some extent, but, you know, I figured now that I'm free from being, well, I shouldn't say I'm not watching my dogs. I still am. One of them's in my room right now. The other one's sleeping outside in his bed. Speaking of which, when this stream's over, I gotta change the water. Let me think. Vampire the Masquerade, Bloodline 2. Let's talk about that, shall we? Everybody knows about it, everybody heard about it, everybody wants it. But unfortunately, we're not getting the game that we want for that respect. The best way I can describe for Vampire the Masquerade Bloodline 2 is that you're pretty much getting nickel and dime for the very least, core clans that were in the original game, as well as what is already in the tabletop by default. It's not a external source book. That is legit, like, from what I understand from me trying to, like, you know, find more details and such about the World of Darkness and such. That is legit just a core component of Vampire the Masquerade, ripped and nickeled and dimed. And so it's kind of sort of fucked on that front, you know? That's the equivalent of, let's say, Baldur's Gate 3 nickel and dime you just so you could play the fighter and ranger respectively. Granted, why would you want to play the ranger? But the fact that it was nickel and dime in the first place is the most insulting part, is what I'd say. Give me a second. Right now, doing some. There we go. There we go. Excellent. Alrighty. But yeah, no, that one is just fucking absurd. The Toreadors, the two clans at the very least, I know for a fact, Toreador specifically is a clan that's supposed to be in the base game of Vampire the Masquerade. Not the, Bloodlines 1, but just the tabletop as a whole. I'm not sure about the second clan, if I'm being honest, but I imagine it's also part of the lore, and if it was ever introduced as, like, a later clan that players can play through, like, external source books and such, then it would have just been, they still probably had writings about it. It's like having if D&D had the Drow And, you know, in one, the base book doesn't come with it, but they're alluded to exist in the first place, and then they're expanded upon and so forth. You get what I'm trying to say. But for a game to do that when everything is set in stone is just obscene to me. And I'm not looking forward to it, not just because of the fact that the, what the hell? Sorry, I'm looking around and seeing what I got in the local space right now. What can I do in my local area? One of a kind salvage. Now what the hell? Anyway, yeah, so I don't know, it's just fucking hell. It's so stupid. That's what I'll say it is. It is legit, like actually just it's just stupid, greedy, and just There's also like the Santa Monica nostalgia pack, which I don't know why that's a thing. I mean, sure, it's nice, but it's not particularly useful in any respect. If anything, it just highlights the fact that that pack exists as like, oh hey, remember this from the first Vampire the Masquerade Bloodline? Ugh. What else is there to talk about? Oh yeah, I remember the story. The story for Vampire the Masquerade Bloodline 2 is no longer going to be like a nameless, you know, faceless... It's not going to be like some nameless, faceless, you know, character that you can build up and, you know, make yourself as a sort of projection and sorts of like building up your stuff. No, instead now you get to play a pre-made character with a pre-made backstory, with a pre-made choice, and just with... yeah, choices, is what I'll say. Oh, hey, sweet, I'll take that. Now I should remark that I'm probably going to do some like side quests that I've already done.
I'm in over my head.
Ooh, hey. Oh, sweet. 50 Action Express. Now we're cooking with fucking kerosene now. Alrighty. So yeah, right now I got like a whole new selection of well, creations that creations and such, so that's nice. What was it talking about? Ah, yes. Yeah, so instead of like having like an actual unique story, or not, sorry. Sorry, instead of having a, you know, personal character that you could build up, like in the first Vampire the Masquerade, instead you now are pretty much forced to play a particular character, which, okay, isn't exactly the end of the world, you know? There are other World of Darkness games that have done that, but Vampire the Masquerade Bloodline specifically has been known to allow players to, at the very least, build their own personal build. Whatever your background was before in Vampire the Masquerade Bloodline 1 was almost undoubtedly irrelevant. It was just not relevant to who you were and what you were. Sure, it may play a minor role, but outside of that, it's not really anything more prominent than just for you to maintain the masquerade. Alright, but yeah. Yeah, so I'm trying to remember specifically because they did go into detail about that. There was like something about like you playing as like an elder vampire who apparently ate shit so hard that he's pretty much reduced to like having no powers or some shit like that. That's just poor excuse, if I'm being honest. But yeah, that's just, I hazard to say it's poor writing, as, you know, could work in theory. But realistically in practice, and really in every other respect, it's just like, why the fuck is this elder vampire just so shit? I mean, there was another elder vampire that was kinda shit, but he was a crusader. And guess what? He got with the woman that he fell in love with, like, years after the fact. By the way, gotta play Vampire the Redemption at some point. Alright, but yeah. Jesus Christ almighty, fucking slam firing this thing. You ever see someone pull the trigger on a 50 caliber fucking Desert Eagle? I didn't think you would, but hey, here we are. Oh, that's not the only thing that's gonna be fucking ringing. Oh my god, this thing is... I'm not gonna say this gun is busted, but it's just hilarious. Just the idea of someone slam firing, or you know what I mean, fucking rapid firing the Desert Eagle is just hilarious. Your wrist is just dust at that point. Anyway, yeah, so... Oh, jeez. It's funny to think that Vampire the Masquerade Bloodline 2 has gone through development hell, and another game of similar quantity in some respects and debate, Dead Island 2, has been in the same ringer. It's funny how the two games, being in so long in development, have panned out, you know? Thinking about it retrospectively. I mean, Vampire the Masquerade is straight up supposed to be an RPG, and yet you have, like, no conventional RPG attached to it, is what I'm gonna say. You have some stuff, like, you know, oh, you get to play, like, Tremere powers and such, and all that other jazz, but at the same time, it's just like, looking at what details are given and what I can piece together from journalistic stuff, and as well as, like, whatever press materials pushed out, like, you know, demos and such that are publicly available after Gamescom and all that jazz, right? After trying to, like, piece them together, I can, at the very least, by my own confidence at least, claim that it's not going to be good. If anything, Vampire the Masquerade Bloodline is just going to be really bad at worst, and at the best of times, really convoluted, questioning of a lot of design choices that are there, and even more importantly, is this even worth being called a Vampire Bloodline 2 game compared to being, oh, I don't know, just a World of Darkness game instead? Oh yes, Bloodlines, where you get to, you know, create a custom character, choose whatever clan you come from, have insane amount of dialogue that just all correlates to you being batshit insane as a Malkavian, aggressive as a Bruja, or seductive as a Toreador. But no, instead it's just like, it's something else altogether. That's just... it's complicated, is what I'll say, for me trying to decipher and piece together what isn't and is, what is and isn't, you know? I don't want to get into the political side of things as well, directly at least, because I know that there's, like, some talks about it being, like, having certain things in its writing that's just like,
Unregistered starship. We're detecting... well, it's what we're not detecting that's an issue. What's powering that thing? You know what, just hold still while we do the contraband check. Scan complete. No contraband detected. We're cleared for landing at New Atlantis.
yeah, I've heard telltale at the very least from various outlets, as well as even the surmising of the community, that when it comes comes to Vampire the Masquerade Bloodline 2's writing, because they ejected the original writer for Bloodlines 1, and they've just cycled through a bunch of writers that are now more or less twisting and just changing a lot of things of the World of Darkness, it's just not gonna be good or palatable, is what I'll say. For some, they might tolerate it, but if I know the type of writing that it's likely going to be taking after, it's the equivalent of a sledgehammer with a megaphone trying to drive home a nail into your head. It's not subtle, there's no nuance to it, and it's just all around pain in the ass. Or in this case, pain in the head.
You will be scanned as you enter the city. Please.
Alright. Alright, so, let me think. Let's move on from Vampire the Masquerade Bloodlines 2. My excitement for the sequel has greatly diminished, is what I'll leave it off at, you know? I'm no longer excited, and I'm just all around disappointed as to whatever Vampire the Masquerade Bloodline 2 is gonna be. I would say, I would like to buy it though, but I'd be lying through my teeth because just the price tag alone, the DLC that's attached to it, does not justify it. I could swallow paying for Shattered Space, because at the very least, Shattered Space is the equivalent of paying for a faction, a world space, a series of quests, and at least semi-competent writing. And then you have Bloodlines 2, which is just a total enigma. You don't have the original guy because you ejected him. You don't have any, nuance or subtlety from any reports that are given to us by the, journalist, or I shouldn't think it was like the director himself that said it. And so it's just like, and that price tag, like I said, the price tag attached to it is just, $90, I think, is what it is. Hold on, let me double check. Let me double check live right now. Let me make sure. What the fuck is this? Alright, let's see. In October, the highest edition available, 90 shekels. 90 shekels. Great. 90 shekels for what again? I'm not showing the Steam page right now, so I'm just looking at it right now. If you want, you can look at it yourself, but excuse me. 90 shekels if you pre-order now to get the Santa Monica Memories. You get the Ankaran sarcophagus, a clan neon sign, a stop sign, and the Vorman sister portraits. Do they serve any purpose? I don't think so. How much does that cost individually? Non-applicable. Great. And the Silken Shadow DLC. What do you get? Clan Toreador and Clan La Sombra. Does that justify me fucking forking over 30 more shekels for that? Like, what? Let me see. Hold on. Let me see here. The deluxe edition's $10 more. And then you have the premium edition, which comes with the Silken Song. It's a fucking $30 hike. So you're telling me the ability to play as two clans, specifically two clans, both of which, or at the very least one of which is already in Vampire the Masquerade tabletop in the game by default, no strings attached, no anything. It's worth an extra $10. Fucking yeah, right. Ugh, grief almighty. Let's keep my frustration and anger, well, not even anger, just my frustration going a little bit. Not to the point that I'm gonna get amped up, but at the very least, let's keep the, emotion rolling a little bit, shall we? So, The Outer Worlds. Everybody has heard of it to one extent or another, right? I've made my feelings known about the original Outer Worlds. To say the least, it is the equivalent of getting a cardiac infarction in slow motion, having no ability to turn back, and after the honeymoon phase has passed on that, you want to have a bullet go through your head at a faster speed than when you suffered the first time. Okay, I'm being a bit hyperbolic. I will concede to that notion right now. But my thoughts on... Give me a sec. My thoughts on My thoughts on the Outer Worlds is just the fact that it got lucky when it first came out. I think I mentioned it once, twice, 5 times, a dozen times at this point. The fact that when it came to specifically the way it was marketed and when it came out at a really low time for Bethesda. Fallout 76 was not exactly in a good position, nor was it good in the first place when it came out, but over the course of time now, it's actually gotten better. But the Outer Worlds, it came at a, like I said, a low point for... But yeah, it came at a pretty low point for Bethesda, because 76 didn't have as many nuance as it was now, and along with that, NPCs were non-existent in the sense of like humans. The RPG of the game as well was not exactly great either, as it was more or less just a atypical, just standard MMO affair, which some expected, others were disappointed by. And so this left a sort of vacuum is what I'll say, because that's really the best way I can describe it. It left this huge vacuum for, you know... Sorry, give it up. It left this huge vacuum for the Outer Worlds to pretty much fill in the place of Fallout being in a low point. And people, they gassed it up, you know? They got all excited and they were claiming, oh, the Outer Worlds is going to be the thing that puts Bethesda to the ground and all that jazz and such. All the enthusiasm and so forth that came with the idea of Obsidian, the people that made Obsidian with the people that made the original, there we go, with the people that made the original Fallout 1 and 2 from the days of Black Isle, to, you know, the people that also made Fallout New Vegas. What was there not to like about that? Well, for one, it didn't have any of those people in the first place. The Outer Worlds was directed and creatively made by someone else that wasn't the people that made Fallout 1, 2, and New Vegas, for one. So pretty much this was Obsidian riding the coattails of Fallout New Vegas above all else. A game that was, at that point in time, if I'm not mistaken, because I was in college, 5, 7 years old. So, wait, no. 2018, 2019. I think it came out like 2010, so. A game that was about 8 to 9 years old, because, again, like I said, I was in college at that time. And so, with that nugget of knowledge put in place, with, you know, hype around the fact that this is New Vegas 2.0 or some shit like that, you know, it's just, yeah.
So, you came back after all. I'm not falling for that. I should have known. What was going through your mind when you...
I was thinking, I was glad he finally shut. Hello, me. You like what I've done with the place?
Only room for one of us in this universe. And I'm taking your place.
I agree.
Oh, please. Child's play. May have my dashing looks. You sure as shit don't have my ingenuity. That's for sure. Alright. Alrighty. So, what was I talking about? Oh, yes. When it came to the Outer World, when it came out initially, like I said, it pretty much came at a time where Fallout was at its lowest, Bethesda was at its lowest, and so on and so forth, right? It filled in a vacuum that I am proclaiming, is what I'll say. And, yeah. It touted off as being by the people that made Fallout New Vegas and, you know, all these other games. However, nowadays, those people are not around anymore. I think, I'm trying to remember specifically the language they use, but I think it was from the developers or the publishers of Fallout New Vegas. Oh wait, no, the publisher is Bethesda, so... Yeah, no, I think it was like from the developers of Fallout New Vegas and such. And, you could already tell from my apprehension at the moment it was mentioned, it's just decline, as it were. Yeah. From the developers of Fallout New Vegas. That's what I'm hanging on right now. In the sense that even to this day, I'm still just like, really? Are you sure about that? What have you done in that time to justify that? If you said from the developers of Fallout New Vegas, Pillars of Eternity 1 and 2, you know, then I'd be like, okay, there's some credence to that, you know, you're not using Fallout New Vegas specifically. But no, it's just like literally Fallout New Vegas. Flat, front, and center. God, that's just... But yeah, no, it's just... God. That in itself, I would say, had sealed the fate of the Outer Worlds. The fact that it was using another game as a crutch more directly. Instead of it being as like, oh, you know, we were known for doing this, this, and this, they chose the one game that was legitimately well known in the gaming zeitgeist and just used it for their marketing, which I'm not opposed to. Let me just be known right now. If a game developer slash publisher or whatever, you know, had made a game, you know, and they were pretty proud of it, that's fine. But the issue is they used that one example and no other examples.
Who made that ship of yours?
Oh, I got contacts on. Take your time.
Alright, let me see here. I need to get more ammo. That's my thing. Alright, so let's move away from the marketing of it, because I realize I'm getting hung up on that. The actual gameplay itself, on a first initial playthrough, I will concede to this notion. Right now. On a first time playthrough, it's okay. It really is okay when it comes to like brass tacks and everything, you know? But then you got everything else that followed subsequently afterwards. To which I will say that after you try and start a second playthrough, it's just not going to be fun. On a first-time playthrough, if you do as much as you want, you pretty much have seen everything. There's no real alternate choices, decisions, and such. That'll make it interesting and justify a second playthrough. At most, you'll likely see an alternate ending. However, there's nothing really substantial. It's just... it's the equivalent of... I'm really trying to scratch my head for, like, something, anything that's, like, there. Because there really isn't anything I can tell you that I haven't said at this point. It's literally just the most game. In a gameplay sense, it's fine. In terms of RPG, it's mediocre. In terms of story, it's even more mediocre. The theme of this, the whole theme of the game is literally just like, oh, corporations are bad, corporate greed is bad, but we're all that's left. And that's really about it. There's no, like, nuances as to, like, why things are the way they are. There's no, like, examinations or thoughts as to, like, how and why things are the way they are and how did things get to this point. No, it's just the equivalent of, like, having, like, a bunch of, like, office-mandated jokes here and there, you know? It's the equivalent of, like, a crazy tie day made consolidated in the form of a game. It's like, oh, it's crazy and wacky, but everyone's still dressed the fucking same. We're all wearing suits, aren't we? And that's really the best way to describe the Outer Worlds. It's literally just corporate mandate the game. And there's no other way to put it. It's just that. Finito. Corporate mandate the game. The end. Nothing more to say. Give me a sec as I work my way through this right now. Look at this big fella. Thank God that my deagle was good enough. Where you going, Mr. Miyagi? One time I need 762 by 39. They don't really make them as they used to anymore. And I know for a fact my Hawk 50 is not... Not as though my Hawk 50 is bad, but it's just not strong enough to take these things on. That, and along with that, I'm using stock settings, so... Suffice it to say, my stuff isn't exactly as on par as it can be. I need materials and I need goods. Well, I got Argon. So I guess. Alright, so, back on the Outer Worlds real quick. So, story-wise and replay value-wise, it's not that great. It's just... yeah, no, it's just not great. Not much more I could say other than that. I could say I want to go back and play it, but I'd be lying through my teeth in saying that I would want to do that in the first place. But yeah, I'd be lying through my teeth in saying that I want to do that in the first place again. It's the first time I played it, it was fine. The second time I played it, which was for the Obsidian Marathon, it was a pain in the ass because I just was fed up with a lot of things about the Outer Worlds at that point. But yeah, I was just fed up with the Outer Worlds at that point for a number of reasons, among them just being the fact that, man, all this work just to fucking find out that Earth is fucked. You can't talk to Earth. And along with that, everything else about your situation is fucked, huh? And I have to deal with quite literally the equivalents of like all these like office archetypes. You have your snarky... You have the snarky one. You have the idiot one. You have the drunk one. You have the fucking one that's there. Yeah, I don't really know how to describe her body. You have the literal robot, and you have the ship that just... And then afterwards, you got the ship that's just like, got an attitude for you. It's just like, what the fuck? This is the equivalent of me having to watch like a bad sitcom just like be unfolded before me. Dude, and that's really the best way I can describe it, actually. It's a fucking bad sitcom. It's a comedy that's trying to be dramatic. And not in like, oh, you know, this is a thought-provoking, interesting way of doing it. But like, legit, just like, yeah, we're trying to be funny, but we're also trying to be cool and serious. Are you taking us serious yet? It's like, no, I'm not. It's quite clear and evident that you're not either. All this like wink wink nudge nudge fucking comedy isn't doing it for me. In fact, it's just making me more annoyed, the fact that you're pointing it out, you know? Ugh. Fuck. But yeah, that's me actually now digging into it a bit further now that I'm thinking about it. It's just like, oh god. Let me see here. Jesus Christ. Alright, clearly my freaking... Alright, clearly my Desert Eagle is definitely doing the work. Right? I'm not gonna be seeing anything soon. Alright, this one is just... Mm-hmm. Let me see. So this is the cryomancer stuff right now. Oh boy. Got a bit of an error here. Although I think it's my game, actually. Real quick, let me just dip for a moment. This kind of happens every now and then. Well, not commonly enough. I think it's specifically when I'm dicking around my, dicking around my load order. So that's why it's kind of sort of like that right now. Let me see if I restart the game. It should load the asset properly. Alright, so the Outer Worlds, so yeah, it's just a bad sitcom is what I'll leave it at for the time being. That's really the simplest way I could put it in terms of everything in perspective. It's just a really bad comedy game. And so that leads me to the Outer Worlds 2, to which I would ask the question I asked again. Did it really need a sequel? Don't get me wrong, people were hyped up for the first Outer Worlds, but then when the actual game came out, let's be honest, it was kind of shit. Now we have the Outer Worlds 2. Guess what? They doubled down on the fucking marketing part. This is what I'm gonna harp on for a good chunk of time right now, alright? Yeah, that's kinda just... Guess what they used for the marketing for the Outer Worlds 2? Because I'm trying to remember, like, off-rip. Like, off the top of my head. I think they used, specifically, Knights of the Old Republic 2, Pillars of Eternity 2, and then Fallout 3 2. It's like, oh, gee, great. You can't get any more creative than what you have now? What game do you have now? Fucking... I'm really trying to remember. What games do they have out now? Because realistically, at this point, it's just kind of like... I think the only thing they got going on right now is like Overgrowth 2 or something. Give me a sec. Let me clean house here before I... Oh, look at you.
Anything? Fire!
something cathartic of just seeing and watching a guy decked out in heavy armor marching into the maw of hell, and then afterwards just absolutely ripping ass onto the opposing force. What the fuck is going on?
Just getting started.
Oh god, something's going on with my game. I don't know what it is though. Just this fucker just blew my goddamn chest off, it looks like. What the fuck is going on? My game is just now going haywire. It says I have no idea what's going on. My game is just going fucking apeshit. Alrighty.
You're already dead.
Hey, nice.
There you are.
No? Alrighty, I'm literally just burning through ammo like crazy right now. Jeez. My gun skills are not as good as they are right now. Like, legitimately, they are not, like... Why is this jerk off fucking healing right now? Seriously. There we go. Problem is, at the very least, some of the accuracy on this thing is just not good right now. There we go, my Bellum. My Gravis suit is now fixed. Dude, what the hell is causing it to be levered at this point? There we go. Hey. Pick, red stick. I'm being assailed and assaulted.
Look down! Light 'em up!
Oh, I think I get what's going on. It's because of the frost effect that's going on. I think it's the frost effect that's like coating my character. I could be wrong on that assessment, but I think that might be the cause of it. Because I think maybe the Gravis' material got like... Seriously? What the fuck? Great, I got stuck on this piece of grout. I don't know what the fuck happened. Again, my game has just gone fucking haywire at this rate. Stay down already. Eat dust, prick. There we go. Swear to God, this entire encounter has made me spend more ammo than I actually have. All that for a rescue axe. Seriously? These guys got armor for me to take off of them. Like, seriously, what the fuck? This entire creation is supposed to be like an addition for all sorts of like outfits and such that is based around the idea of cryomancy. And yet, I only found like 3 things and a bunch of helmets. That's really about it. I think the effect for the frost as well is also kind of bugged too. It's because for the Gravis armor, it's just keeps on having a chest piece go invisible, as well as I think to some extent maybe the actual armors themselves. Let me see. Yeah, no. Yeah. Funnily enough, this entire dungeon is just literally one open overworld dungeon, which is pretty impressive actually. There's no loading screen in that entire dungeon run, but at the same time it's also kind of unoptimized as well. Still, that was pretty cool to run through a little bit, I'd say. This is, of course, there's like more dungeons. Yeah, there are more dungeons attached to this creation specifically. But yeah. Down already. Please tell me that was enough to damage her at least. Think you could stop me? A man in literal fucking tank armor? Oh, dude, do you now? I don't think you have. Again with the healing. What the fuck? It's just explosive shots on a fucking cryo gun. Is there any more like cryomancer gear or something? We got decent tons, what I'll say right now. See here. Here we go. Try something like this. All right. There we go. Aish. Aish. Such convoluted puzzles. How does it feel like I'm missing like a dozen things right now? See. How am I missing literally just one fucking thing right now? There we go. Yeah, I did it, guys. Am I cool yet? Real quick, I'm gonna take a look at the Outer Worlds trailer, actually. I'm trying to, like, legit remember what games they used. Let me see, what was it? Alrighty, let's see here. Yeah. Nope, the reveal trailer don't have it. Was it last year, I think? Alright. Alright, so let's see. I'm looking at it right now. From the studio that brought you Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic 2. Yep. Come on, what else was there? Neverwinter Nights 2. Okay. Yay, and then what was it? There's like Fallout 3 New Vegas. Oh, for fuck's sakes. So they... Yeah, no, sure. From the people that gave you an incomplete Star Wars game, a D&D experience that makes you want to rip your own nads off with your own teeth, and the only silver lining that studio had before they made Pillars of Eternity 1 and 2, but with Chris Avellone and, you know, all the people from Black Isle, we bring you Mediocrity 5, because this is the 5th. Alright, I'm being harsh right now for no reason. Let me cool my jets a bit, yeah? Sorry, give me a sec. Right. So, yeah, no, just out of all those things that were just mentioned, 3 of those games were just kind of like, if I'm being honest. And then you have New Vegas, which even in my opinion was kind of like okay. I enjoyed it, but you know, people love to hype that one up because, oh, it had the old riders from Black Isle. Ugh. point, but yeah, it's just... I don't want to, like, point the finger, you know? Give me a sec. I don't want to, like, go around, point a finger, and start accusing, like, oh my god, this... I'm accusing you of, like, some sort of, like, dirty tactic, but more particularly, at the very least, I will point out the fact, like, really? You chose a game that's been out for about a decade at this point. A game that, and another game that I would argue that Neverwinter Nights 2 was just a messy experience on a lot of fronts. Yeah, Neverwinter Nights 2 was a messy experience by a default setting, so that's not exactly high praise to claim credit for that one. Fucking Knights of the Old Republic 2 was also incomplete. Was also an incomplete experience where you had like a dozen bits of content that was just like left on the chopping room floor. In Vegas, oh god, is Vegas even considered a Fallout game? Good writing beside, the entire thing was literally just everything that people complain about Starfield for in terms of its story, where it's like, oh, you know, all this cool stuff happened before, and now we're just kind of sort of like in the aftermath of it all. That's my same complaint with New Vegas, except it's more direct. Because at the very least, the context of Starfield, for me at the very least, is that you're in the middle of a Cold War. You really want to start World War IX whilst fucking... The conflict between NCR and Caesar's Legion was literally just a bunch of people scrabbling around the fucking desert for shit all resources over a goddamn dam, with a tycoon mogul being like, yes, I would like to throw my hat in the ring, please, for 500 caps. Ugh. But yeah, that's my gripe with it as well for New Vegas. The fact that, you know, every cool thing that happened has already happened, and now we're just left with second servings. Whoa, that's great. Where'd you take a page out of that from? Fucking, what was it? Tyranny? Tyranny left a bad taste in my mouth. It's not as though it's not even as though it was a bad game. It was actually pretty good in my opinion, but all the same, it was just very... Alright, let me see what I got. Yeah, let's have like 200 rounds. Just go. You know what? That's actually pretty good to some extent. Just have 200 rounds. Just go down range. Just start shredding through shit, you know? Alrighty, let me see. Alright. I'm gonna move on from the Outer Worlds 2 for a short while, but I do want to end off on this note, at the very least, is that when it came to its more recently, when they pushed out their trailer for like their companions and the like, right? They like tried to hype up these companions as though they're like the hot shit. You know, like Dragon Age Veilguard, where they tried to like make trailers to make all of them like cool looking to some extent. They tried to do that for the Outer Worlds, and it's just not working. They tried to do the same thing with the Outer Worlds 1, where, you know, you had the Doctor character kind of sort of being like the mouthpiece and like guiding hand of the story and such, in the sense that she's like, oh, she's the de facto companion, she's the Liara of this game or whatever the hell, right? Yeah, well yeah, well, when it comes to the Outer Worlds 2, none of them are the Liara of the fucking Alright, give me a sec. It's funny to me just thinking about it. So, I'm using Liara as an example because she's like the iconic, you know, character that's synonymous with like Mass Effect and the like, you know? And so when it comes to specifically the Outer Worlds, when they try to like showcase like their definitive like companions, Baldur's Gate 3, they had Shadowheart, Lae'zel, Astarion, Gale, Will, and Karlach, right? You know, all these like major critical characters, strong, powerful, you know, they just have presence. The Outer Worlds, who do you have? You have some schmo, a short-haired woman. You have, snarky woman. Yeah, did I mention that one? You have a robot. And, yeah, that's it. That's your party. It's like you're trying to hype up stale bread. It's not gonna work.
Check. Rifle.
You know what's even more funnier as well? Is just the fact that at the end of the trailer, after revealing all these characters, they decide to like tack on and say, yeah, all these characters, and you can't romance them. Why? Fuck you, that's why.
In general goods. Welcome to UC District. I have been told it'll be up. Also, if you're here about it. Oh, well.
But yeah, what's that? Yeah, we just introduced our characters. You want to romance them? Well, you can't, because fuck you.
Come back.
It's like, even if you did, even if these characters were, you know, remotely interesting, I would not want to romance them in the first place. Oh wait, sorry, no, that doesn't make sense. Let me reword that. Even if you were to showcase the characters as they were, I would still not want to romance them. Physically, I shouldn't go off judging off physical looks. In terms of the way that they're designed, as well as like a variety of things that are attributed to their characterizations in a physical sense, they're not that interesting to look at. They don't seem to be, you know, don't seem to be like of any like remark or merit, is what I'll say. And along with that is just the fact that if the Outer Worlds 1 is anything to go by, these characters will have the personality of cardboard, and at most will be wet as one, or be as efficient when they're wet. It is just not. But yeah, to me it's just like Alright, I'm dropping it Outer Worlds 2 now as a subject. We got a minor amount of time at the very least to talk about something else. Yo, let's keep on my criticisms. Let's talk about my thoughts of things, alright? You know? I'm in this mood now. I'm not gonna say I'm on a ball or anything. I'm just gonna keep on going and double downing a bit.
Please hold your current speed and heading while we scan you for contraband.
So Lost Soul aside, everybody, I played the game on stream, and I did some looking around, and, you know, after some time, I thought about what I thought about for the game. And to say the least, when it came to Lost Soul aside, I enjoyed it in the most basic sense of the word, but I feel like after a certain point, it's just like kind of like flat, you know? But yeah, I couldn't help but feel as though it's a bit of a flat experience for a game that's supposed to be like this like stylish action adventure, you know, hack and slash game. And I think the issue for Lost Soul aside is a few things. One is the fact that it was in development for a long while, but that's kind of sort of par for the course, specifically for indie games. But yeah, it's kind of sort of like par for the course for indie games, I feel. The way that they, you know...
If you're looking to stay, Stone Root Inn will take care of you.
You know, the way that they're handled and the like, right?
Hold it.
Give me a sec.
Folks might be in danger, so Good guess. It's pretty much exactly right. You didn't hear this from me?
You stay where I can see you, Marshal. Everyone stays in front of the building. You got me? If you make a move toward the building, a hostage dies.
You planning to tell me your demands at some point?
You find someone we can trust, and maybe we will.
Like who?
Not you, not one of your rangers, and not these city guards neither.
What the hell am I supposed to do with that? You need to stand back. I don't mean to be rude. Now please stand. Some folks from the Shark, they took everyone inside hostage. They're using the intercom. They won't talk. In other words, they didn't have a... It might come to that. But first, find out what they... Hey, you in the bank. I'm sending in a negotiator, so don't shoot.
Andrew, the negotiator, huh? You think you're just gonna walk up here? We'll cooperate, so tell me straight.
My name is Rick. You're not the only one who's in trouble,
I
Jamal.
heard that. Okay, so let's talk. We want a guarantee. We'll drop the hostages off, so after that, we'll radio back, but if anybody follows us...
Pretty tall
then
order.
persuade... So let's... What do you mean?
Let's end this peacefully if we can.
I know. Damn it. I didn't think of it then. Sometimes bad things happen. Nah, it's too late. You go tell the marshal.
Alright, blood it is then. The crusade is on, baby.
Security around here is a joke. I heard every... All that fear, that puts us in...
Negotiation time is over. You know what it's time to do.
Yeah. You gave those boys a chance. Problem is, they're keeping... If we try to move again...
I'll go in. I'm a part of your security force.
You'd be willing to do that? I can't deny... Now, I see. If you're quick. There's also most of their attempt. This key should unlock...
Please, stay calm and let our security forces do their...
Alright, I want to call down some thunder right
If you're
now.
looking for... Sure, Laredo. Okay.
Alright, got enough rounds to cause some thunder stir. Maybe we'll get some material as well.
What was that noise?
Thunder, asshole. I'll take that. Thank you very much.
This is bad!
And just like that, thunder was brought down. Alrighty, let's see here. What was I picked up? Hey, a plasma rifle. Seriously, what the fuck is going on with my game right now? Just the fact that it's just like glitching out this hard. Alright, issue resolved, problem solved.
I heard the fight. The hostages, are they safe?
Oh, the fine. Straw gang, not so much.
Is that so? Shame it had to come to that. Here. You got us out of it. As a matter of fact, if you're interested...
Games making fools of us all.
Real quick, I want to take a look at this plasma rifle. I wonder if it's got 20-watt range to it. Let's see. Experimental 5th generation. I'm curious if this is a custom model made for Starfield, or is this like a pre-bought asset or something? Doesn't seem like anything I would see. Shotgun barrel, marksman barrel, compact barrel, SMG barrel. Oh boy, look at that. Laser foregrip. Oof. Starborn internal, 7th tier. Constellation, Blackout, Crimson Fleet, Grunt, Mercenary, well, you know what they say. There's something to be said about a well-crafted plasma weapon.
You ask me? Don't make me regret.
You're gonna regret selling me a lot of things, lady, alright? Just get used to it. Where the hell am I supposed to get anti-materia or antimatter rounds anyway? What, just walk into my local core kinetics and just say, hey, you got anti-material experimental plasma phase rounds? Alright, what was I talking about before? Oh yes, Lost Soul aside. So, when it comes to Lost Soul aside from...
that bad, Ken? So we had to clean up the graffiti on the range.
You meet all sorts in the
Why don't we just close
Every gun get... Here's what I have in stock.
Alright, so yeah, when it comes to Lost Soul aside, and from what I can recount from my little research for the game itself was in development since 2016, 17, so about almost 10 years to this year. And I think during that time, and if I'm recounting correctly, during that time, PlayStation had picked it up as it's one of its one of its like new home lineup of games and such, right? But yeah, it was slated to be one of their new exclusive titles. Thing is, though, is that the game was made with indie sense and conventions in mind. And that's the real kicker here, I guess you could say, about... yeah, I guess that's the real kicker of what you can say about Lost Soul aside, is that it's an indie game that got transformed and molded into being a AAA game in some weird, roundabout way. It was never meant to be a large-scale project. It was meant to be like a, from what footage I was able to see of early stuff, it was meant to be something that's like on the scale of like Bloody Spell or something like that. A game that was clearly linear, clearly, you know, has some jank, but was meant to have like some heart, a lot of heart behind it, you know? And that's really the best way to describe it, because, you know, Bloody Spell is just fucking Chinese, yeah, it's a Chinese, Devil May Cry, almost. Cheeser says, hey man, hope you have an amazing stream. Can't really stick around because I'm pretty sleepy, but I dropped by to say hi. Well, hello to you too, Cheese Derp. No problem. I'm about to wrap up soon anyway. Have a good night. But yeah, for Lost Soul aside, that's my suspicion as to why the game currently is the way it is because when it comes to the overall project, it had one thing in mind, but then all of a sudden it expanded beyond that. It's pretty much the ultimate definition of feature creep, is what I would say. It had this like ambitious idea to do alone, and they wanted to laser focus on it, and then Sony comes along, give them a blank check, and they don't know what the hell to do with it anymore, and then all this like feature creep stuff is just there. Also, I really like to draw and do art. Recently got the idea of doing another character. I'm going to draw a python sticking out of a cardboard box, fangs bearing a handgun with a suppressor hell in its tail. Oh, yes. Alright.
Hey, I need to talk with you.
Leave me alone. My mother told me not to talk to strangers. Yeah, I get it. Alright, but yeah, so that's my... If I were to gauge and guess as to what happened with Lost Soul Aside, that's my guess with it. It just became an... It just went from being an indie game to being a... It just went from being an indie game to all of a sudden forcefully a AAA game, or at the very least a AA game, with a lot of shitload of jank behind it.
If you're here to buy... Maybe. If you don't like it. That's more like it. You know, I mean, look. I've got more than you
Speaking
can
of video
handle.
games, I'm learning how to use Unity. Oh boy. That's going to be a... Well, I'm not going to say it's going to be rough, but it is going to be a challenge a bit, I would say, a little bit. I want to suggest do Unreal. Not, well, if you... No. Unity is a fine engine. I'll just say this right now. It's a fine engine. It's great. You're going to be doing a lot of 2D games, though, from what I understand. I already know Java, though. If that's the case, then yeah. If you want to reinforce what you already know, it's perfectly fine, actually. Yeah, no, it's perfectly fine. I think for me, at the very least, I think from my mindset, because I've been hearing about a lot of, like, talks and rumblings in the AAA game space. Not many people really use Unity besides indie developers. And when it comes to, like, AAA guys, they always use a, yeah, they always use Unreal, so that's why I was like, yeah, you might want to learn Unreal a little bit, but Unity's fine if you're gonna do, like, small scale to, like, you know, indie games, I guess.
You see, I said to myself, Matthias, I'm talking military.
This is me speaking out of my ass right now. I'm
No.
gonna make GTA 7. Oh God.
So what do you
You're
say?
gonna be GTA 7 and
No,
I'm just
that's what I'm let's get you. This stuff with
I'm just thinking to myself right now, just like make GTA 7 one man dev team. You know the original first 2 GTA games? That's pretty much what's gonna happen. Just make it a top-down.
If you've got the creds, we've got the
Yeah, just make it like a top-down game instead. Not even open world. There's no I in team, my ass. There's I, myself, and I. There's me, myself, and I. That's it. Alright, so yeah. Lost Soul aside, that's my guess as to what happened to the game itself. Yeah, that's my guess as to what happened to the game itself. It became so bloated and so just had like a blank check that it just caused some problems. Let me see here real quick. Got like a few things I got under the hood right now. Although I'm trying to figure out a few more things. Oh man, there's like another game I want to talk about as well, but I'm trying to remember off rip. What game was it? Shit. Let me check my library real quick, because I know... Yeah, let me check my library real quick, because I know that I got like a few things I actually do want to talk about a little bit. You know, maybe another time. Hello Neighbors is what you're thinking of. Best game, totally bug-free. Yeah, that's actually not too far off, but I was thinking about like a different game outside of that. I'm trying to remember, because I was playing like a bunch of games prior, like a bunch of AAA games before. And it's just been, yeah. Oh man, what was it? You know, I think I'm just gonna leave it at that. It's just the fact, yeah, so that game, Lost Soul Aside, it just became the subject of a whole lot of feature creep. And, yeah, it's just... It's sad that it just became the way it is now. 10 years! 10 years of hard work! And all it takes is one fell moment to shit on it. And here we go. UC Vigilance, Ryujin Industries HQ, the lock in the facility. Where am I gonna find these things, and where am I gonna find the ammo for this godforsaken thing? Jeezer says to join the drama club. Oh boy.
Ever wonder how the prince...
The drama club, eh? I'm trying to think of like something. You know, I'm trying to think. I'm gonna be the theater kid. Yeah, no, I was gonna say. It's like, oh my gosh. The theater kid. Oh, grief. Can't wait to have that ambition to suddenly go to Hollywood and try and, you know, all of a sudden have the ambition of going to Hollywood, make it big, ma, and all that. Jeez. I don't like Hollywood. Bollywood, then. I'm gonna break it into the... I'm gonna break into the industry this way somehow. Alright. Holly Lumber.
Welcome to Newell's.
I understand that. That man, he skips merchant.
Oh yeah, that's right. Not too long
You're
ago.
completely missing the point. Unless all of them are... And if you'll forgive the outburst and...
Not too long ago,
No problem.
what was it? No Man's Sky actually came out with an update for their game. It was a shipbuilding update. And I'm trying to remember specifically. I've watched like a bunch of videos. Well, I shouldn't say I watched a bunch of videos. I saw a bunch of videos of like people pointing out about the comparisons to Starfield, and yeah. Give me a second. I'm trying to like figure out where I want to go. Right now, I'm just exploring around like a total jackass. But yeah, No Man's Sky recently pushed out an update that added the added shipbuilding, like modular shipbuilding into the game. And it was, from what I can remember, at the very least from the reaction from Starfield's community, a lot of the people from Starfield's community were like, kind of sort of like, yeah, it's pretty cool actually. Caesar says, but wait, they already had that with freighters. Yeah, I think they did it with like cruisers or something like that. Or what was it? It was fuck. It's pretty much the smaller ships. Let me see, because it's been I have not gotten far, and I'm trying to remember like details about the game, if I'm being honest. Let me see. So let me see. Ship customization. No, I mean like actually building your own ship. Fuck, what was it called? The Voyager updated added some new stuff, that's why. Let me see. Let me take a look at the patch notes itself. See if it can give me a detail of it. Ah, there we go. You can now make your own corvettes. Huge ships with hulls, wings, landing gears, cockpits, engine parts, thrusters, and more. Create your own unique sci-fi design. So there we go. It's I think it's a new ship tier, corvettes, where you now create your own ship. So that's what they added into No Man's Sky. From what I've seen, because I was curious about it myself, but from what I've seen, it's pretty much kind of sort of similar to Starfield's design, although not quite in totality, I suppose. Let me think off rip right now and off kilter. What's your ship titled? I haven't. My old ship was called Comet Breaker, or I think it was it was Comet Driver, because I thought it was just cooler to just call it Comet Driver. I think before that I called it Star Piercer, but I'm settling on Comet Driver just because it drives. Oh. Why is my ship tilted? Because it defies the laws of gravity and physics. And it's also something the universe decided to give me, apparently. I honestly don't know why. It literally, like I said, it actually does bend the laws of physics and logic. Anyway, yeah, so... Can't defy the laws of Sir Isaac fucking Newton. Well, the universe says... Yeah, right. God, one time I wish I had a car with me. Well, looks like Eclipse is coming by and saying hello. Looks like Ecliptic is deciding to say, "Heyo, what's going on?" Anyway, yeah, so yeah, from what I know, at the very least, for No Man's Sky and Starfield, the two communities have actually been pretty... Well, at the very least, Starfield itself has been cordial. I imagine No Man's Sky is also on the same level where they have that cordiality going for them.
Wanted all over the settled systems with a bounty to match.
What do you mean I'm wanted?
What? You don't know your own history? You must have done something to put all those zeros on your bounty. But it doesn't matter. I don't care what you did. Only what you're worth.
You're mine!
Honestly. Well, they tried. Clearly, whatever skill they thought they had wasn't enough. Let's see, what did that note say? Soldiers of Fortune, I want Ray dead. A large sum of credits. The longer you wait, the higher the bounty, but ask yourself, will the next hunter be as patient as you? Probably, yeah. Alrighty. So so as I was saying, both communities have been pretty cordial when it came to the comparison between the two games, from what I know. Starfield, at the very least, was definitely... Yeah, Starfield's community, at the very least, was definitely cordial about it, I think. They really... I'm trying to find the best way to describe it. But yeah, there really wasn't much competition between the two to some extent. Both have their respective communities and both are space games. I'm trying to remember specifics though, for certain opinions at least. I think people say that they prefer Starfield mostly because it's realistic, at least in an aesthetic sense, which, to be fair, is actually a fair point. However, that beside, it's also something that's a lot more easier to get into compared to No Man's Sky, I think. No Man's Sky, off rip and kilter, is definitely a survival game, which you could tell from the point that it came from, or yeah, the time it came from, 2016, where survival games were kind of sort of at the high point for their existence, you know? I'm trying to think what else was there. I think there's like more versatility with Starfield's setting as well. And that's both in design as well as just general interpretation to some extent. I'm really trying to think of like what the opinion for No Man's Sky's community is Starfield though. I imagine that both are on a similar boat. Some more outward voices would probably claim like, oh man, our game is better than the other, and vice versa. I think overall, like, unilaterally, both sides are just like homogenous. They just both want space games to play. That doesn't stop the amount of videos I see where it's like, No Man's Sky humiliated Starfield, and so on and so forth. Old Lukey boy, old Lucas Stevenson's just pushed out his usual shit, so that's something. The usual suspects is what I'll say. Have all popped and reared their ugly ass heads. Well, metaphorically ugly. They're all fine people, I'm sure. Although that's not to say that's not to say I can't admonish their choices. No? They're right in all but taste, is what I'll say. There's some funny videos for you. Go to YouTube and look up Trump plays the accordion. It's like a minute. The stream's about to end right now, but for the sake of posterity, I will actually look at it. So yes. Let's see what we got going on here. Let me pull it up. This is back 8 years ago. Oh shit, okay, I think I get what's going on.
Everything else that was hacked recently, I'm going to take advantage of something. I have something that others don't have. I don't like the way that looks, but I would be able to do that if I wanted to. I'd be the only one that would be able to do that. If we wanted to, I just don't want to because I think that would be a conflict.
Oh, wow.
We're doing them a tremendous service by doing it. We are going to build a wall, and people would go crazy. I don't blame them for what's happened. I don't blame them for taking advantage of the United States. I wish our politicians were so smart. I had my meeting. Nobody knew, not even Rona, my executive assistant for years. She didn't know, I didn't tell her. And that's because we have no defense. That's because we're run by people that don't know what they're doing.
The original poster of this, if this is correct, is Hugh Parkinson. If you enjoyed the video, I guess watch their stuff too. So, yeah. Hugh Parkinson's, everyone. Gotta give credit, though. That's pretty creative. That's pretty creative editing to, you know, put an accordion. I never realized how much movement Trump has in terms of, like, you know, hand gestures and such, you know? Seems like such an odd... yeah, it's surprisingly smooth. It's such a... I'm trying to find the best way to describe it. It's such a, like, I guess, clear-cut thing when you really think about it retrospectively. Just the amount of, like, hand movement he does. He's got a point to make, so... Anyway. That'll be all for this one. Thanks for stopping by. Hope you enjoyed this stream. If you want to see more, I'll be streaming again tomorrow. Probably in the morning or something. I don't know. I'll be doing, I'll be doing Vampire the Masquerade again, in which I'll be pushing to continue my progress. And yeah. Thanks for stopping by. Enjoy the stream. Have a good night. Till then.